Good afternoon, guys. June 15th, 2011. Oh man, there's a bunch of news today. Market's down 100 and I'm sorry, 178.84, a little over almost 1.5% on the day. At times it was down over 200 points. Negates the big gain from yesterday. They wanted to lull you into thinking that maybe things could be okay, but I mean, yesterday was just a fluke, some cheap buying. The market's down overall 653 points since the morning of June 1st when I did my first video, kind of putting out a warning about the market, the economy, and things beginning to take a serious downturn over the next couple of months. Through the end of the year, I'd say even into next. Picked up on a couple articles today. One suggested that possibly we won't really see drastic, terrible things until 2013 because China, the United States, other major players in the world market will come up with some ways to kind of, so to speak, kick the can down the road a little further. We'll see what happens. I don't know if them kicking the can is going to make a difference at this point. I think all the lies are coming to the surface that the federal government's been telling us here in America about unemployment numbers, about housing numbers. Briefly, I haven't found any articles to verify yet. However, I listen, as I've told you before, to lots of different things. I listen to everybody. I listen a little bit of Alex Jones, even though I think he's about 50% truth. His game is really just to get us all irritated enough to load our guns and hit the streets. We're not there yet, guys. We are not there yet. We have plenty of ways in this country as the people, we the people, if we just figure out how much more important it is to be Americans than to be liberals or conservatives, but to be freedom-loving, liberty-loving Americans. We still have so much power as the people in this country if we just all decide to stand up together and move in one direction as a unit together. I'm not talking about communism or socialism. I'm talking about we, the freedom-loving, liberty-loving American people, deciding to take back that power that the Constitution, but even above that, like it or not, God gave us as far as this country is concerned. We live under a real big illusion anymore these days. The illusion of being the land of the free and the home of the brave. It's more like the land of the perceived free and the home of the very apathetic. And it's really getting tiring, guys. Really, really getting tiring. We're all just sitting around just putting up with whatever. We're just taking it in. I mean, these politicians, come on, seriously, Wiener? First of all, who on God's green earth voted a man into office named Wiener and expected anything other than what's happened? Wiener? Wow. Can't believe the guy's not still locked in a locker back in high school, and they never let him out with a name like Wiener. Anyway, enough said on that. Everybody's pounded that to death. No pun intended. Anyway, TSA, I caught a little bit of news like I was getting ready to say. Glenn Beck made mention that the TSA is planning a multi-state exercise, security exercise. They are going to have air assets involved, drones, who knows what else. Also, there's plans in the works to make the United States postal workers part of some kind of security force. I don't know if they would be fall under the TSA or just Homeland Security or what, but it sounds like there's some rumblings about pertaining to turning them into a backup security force, so to speak. Also came across some information through Alex Jones. They're getting ready. There are already some cities that are passing ordinances for people to put lock boxes on their front door. so that there's a key in there. Now they're using the excuse of, it will allow the firemen to get into your house easier. I agree with Alex Jones. I don't much, but I agree with his statement of, really, because they don't have that big axe or that huge ram that they can shove through your door to get in, right? I don't know. Anyway, seems a little odd. Market news today. We'll get back to that. Like I said earlier, it's down 653 points total since June 1st. It's going to continue to drop. Tonight, overnight, you'll watch the Asian markets are just going to take a dive because Europe, the United States, I mean, everybody was down today except Japan. It's kind of odd, actually, when you think about it, based on all their troubles. And they don't seem to be subsiding much at all, especially on the nuclear side of things. Home builders index was down to 13, only 5 points above the worst reading in January of 2008. Doesn't sound very good. They actually expected it to stay pat at 16 from April, but it dropped unexpectedly. That's their new catchphrase. Everything that happens in the economy or in the market recently was unexpected. Oh, we didn't see this coming. Really? $5 a gallon gas in some areas of the country. $4, just shy of $4 a gallon in other parts of the country, or most of the rest of the country, we should say, for about a month and a half? Didn't see that would affect anything. Okay, anyway, moving on. Empire State Index was at a negative 7.8, down from 11.8, first time below zero since November of 2010. Economists had predicted it would be at a plus 13.3. Again, unexpected. Ooh, give me a break. That's their way of saying we've been lying to you, but we don't want to admit we've been lying. Maybe we should call that the Clinton-Wiener syndrome. And you can throw Obama in there too, because every time his lips are moving, he's lying too. Index for number of employees fell 15 points in June. New orders fell 21 points to negative 3.6. The shipment indexes fell 34 points to a negative 8. Expectations of activity in the next 6 months are notably less optimistic amongst CEOs. I think it's funny too, because I found an article out there that said that there are CEOs of companies that think that the second half of the year is going to be fine. Everything's just going to magically turn around. Suddenly, demand is just going to come out of nowhere, as it would seem to some. The Future General Business Conditions Index fell 30 points to 22.5, its lowest level since early 2009. Gas prices are down for now, but I've been reading other articles. Yesterday I found one that said OPEC is already telling us the second half of the year we're going to see oil production down about 2 million barrels a day, according to OPEC. Other companies, other CEOs of companies are saying that they see fuel prices headed back up for the second half of the year. Another interesting number came out today, which was the CPI. The core was actually the core consumer price index number came out slightly higher than just the overall CPI number. The overall was at a 0.2%, and the core was at a 0.3%. Now, typically the core is less because they take things like energy and food out of the mix. This time it was up higher when they took energy and food out of the mix. So I guess that's something to think about. It means clothing, cars, and other things, the prices have gone up. Foreign investors also. I came across an article today that tells me that foreign investors in May decided to invest less in securities and security-backed treasuries, United States treasuries, that is, and increased their investments in hard assets. United States hard assets, meaning they were going away from buying debt-backed securities, to actually purchasing companies, other things. Um, Big surprise. Foreign countries now beginning to own more of the United States. Well, that ought to make you all feel good, huh? Here's another interesting bit of news. Moving on to world politics, military type news. Iran, China, and Russia met in Astana, Kazakhstan. It's the capital of Kazakhstan. Do some Google searches on Astana. Look into Astana and all the Illuminati symbolism that sits right in the middle of that city, and all the things tied to it that would be connected to the New World Order and to the Illuminati. And you'll find some very interesting things. At any rate, the SOC, which was formed in 2001, had a nuclear power summit. China, Russia, Iran, other countries in the Middle East and other places that are members of the SOC, which is a NATO, basically a rival to NATO. Like I said, formed in 2001. You should do some research on that. At any rate, Medvedev and President Hu Jintao had a little sit down, a little powwow with Ahmadinejad, aka Ahmadinejad. The article I read put a spin on it such that they're encouraging him to be more involved in talks towards more of an agreement style conversation with the United States, with NATO and other countries about Iran's nuclear program. I really doubt it. I mean, Ahmadinejad, he's been out recruiting all over the world. Venezuela and Chavez and Ahmadinejad, they've become quite close friends. I think it's just something we're being told, especially based on I'll touch on a little on the next story. USS Monterey. It's a naval destroyer, anti-missile ship, is in the Black Sea as we speak for Navy war games with 11 other countries. Now, they say these war games pertain to combating piracy on the open sea, but I have my questions about that, especially considering the article I read said Russia's pretty irritated by the fact that ship is in the Black Sea. They don't have any time for the United States having any of their Navy in the Black Sea, ever. And here we're sitting with an anti-missile ship. The article I read said that Russia views it as a somewhat hostile move on the part of the United States. On the healthcare front, I didn't get to read the article. I just seen the headline. I tried to find it later, couldn't. But in some more Yahoo news, Congress moves to drastically cut prostate cancer funding. So, I mean, for all these years, we've been told, the women have been told they need to get their breast exams monthly. They need to get certain tests done at certain ages. Men have been told the same thing about prostate cancer. Now we're going to just back off on the funding for research to do anything about these cancers. The government's also gone to just telling people that, oh, you don't need all those different tests at those times anymore, we've discovered. At any rate, I just was touching on a few things. I have some more I'll be coming at you with a little later on this afternoon, this evening probably. Check out the Anonymous video. Anonymous has started phase 1 of their 3-phase operation as far as letting the powers that be know it's time. It's time that they step down. And it really is. It's time that we the people take back our freedom. Take back the power given to us from God and the Constitution. Till next time, may God bless and protect you and yours always. Take care. Be free.